today what we're going to do is we're going to make this little lady out of glass. The process is flame working. That's what I'm going to be highlighting in these videos. And let's go ahead and go downstairs into the dungeon. Okay, here's my studio. It's a bit messy, so we'll do a quick cleanup because I like to start every time with a clean space. I'm actually going to start, everything is going to be made on this little mandrel here, which is made out of stainless steel. This will be the post for the whole piece. So I'm going to start out on this, and then I have some other different size stainless steel rods here, and I will end up making the actual head of this piece on a very large stainless steel mandrel. It's going to take me about 45 minutes to make the head. I just realized that the 45 minutes of footage I took on time lapse on my iPhone equaled 27 seconds. So that was like super fast, and back to the drawing board. Okay, here I am. I am ready to start building the neck and shoulders. I have a white ivory rod that I'm going to be using, and I just slowly start to heat it up, and you'll see that I just start adding it to the end of a slightly warm the mandrel. I'm telling you guys, if I have to do this again, I'm just gonna flip out. I've had to do a voiceover like 5 times. Okay, so what I'm doing here is just rolling it up, getting it on the mandrel, and I'm pretty much making the entire neck and shoulders on the mandrel so it won't come off. I'm just shaping it up when it's out of the way. In my next video, I definitely will have a different camera angle because this was not up to standards for me and what I was going for. But, you know, again, it's my first time. So anyway, back to this. I'm just building up the shoulders and then just pushing them back, adding a little bit of back area there, some backbone, and then adding a little bit of bodice to the front, getting it where I need to, and I'll just add glass on the shoulders and that front area as much as I need to until I'm satisfied with the amount that I have, and then I will continue to shape it with a butter knife, which is a great tool to have. And I like to use a very thin butter knife, and that way you can use it for multiple purposes. So at some point here, pretty quick, I will be picking up a red stringer because I think that I'm going to start adding outfits to these little ladies. I haven't done that before, so I'm using a red stringer here and adding the shoulder straps and then I'll add a little front part to connect it all together. And I might add some, I think I add some, well, we'll see. I'm actually doing this on a camera, so it's hard for me to see exactly what I'm doing. There we go. Yeah, I do add a little bit to it, and then when I'm finished, I'll put it in the oven, and that's running at 1,000 degrees, and I'll hold it there until I'm finished and ready to add it to the head. Okay, here I am. This is where I start building up the head. I have that 1/4-inch mandrel, so it's pretty big, and then I got like 3 ivory rods bound together by a rubber band, which is not good, and you'll see why later. But anyway, so this is where I am wondering, you know, well, things go wrong here. The problem is that I don't have the lens on the camera, so as I'm building up the base to hold this head on, I have to stop, and here I go, and gosh darn it, I have to put the lens on, I'm forgetting it. Okay, and then on goes the torch again, back to what we're doing. And again, this is just my demo. This is definitely not a tutorial. So what I do is I just start by building up a nice large gather of glass with the ivory bundle. And the torch I'm using is a Hellcat made by Carlisle, and I love this torch. It's great for big and small soft glass work. And I'm just really, you know, gathering up as much as I can, but I don't want to get so much to where it becomes out of proportion to the neck and shoulders that I previously made. And at this point, it looks like I might add, looks like I'm adding a little bit more. But I'm really, yeah, I am adding more. I'm not happy yet. Needs to have more on there. And I'm just being careful not to get too close. This is where things go wrong with the rubber band. It popped off, and all my rods were kind of they're out of control. So enough of that. Now here I am using my favorite tool, again, the butter knife, to shape the back of the cranium and to give it, you know, the look of a head. I've been working on these pieces for, golly, I don't know, maybe 5 years or so. I have a heat lamp right above me because it is winter time and it is cold, but I noticed that when I have it on, it's just, I didn't like the lighting. So I added a little bit of extra color onto the jaw, and you know, I'm really just trying to get that basic head shape down, and that looks good. I like the way that's kind of what I always go for. And sometimes it takes time, you know, I'm just pushing this stuff around really. And then what am I doing? I'm adding a little bit more to the chin because that tends to go away after a while of overheating. And I have an array of dental tools that I like to use. So let's start sculpting a little bit of the face here. I have a little flat round dental tool that I'm gonna just push into the glass on 2 sides to make kind of a Voldemort looking, you know, head. Definitely if it starts to look like Voldemort, you're doing okay, because the last thing that we do is add the nose. Okay, so here we go, adding the eyeballs. I'm using a little tiny stringer of black, and I'm heating it up and pressing it down until they're the size that I like. And on top of that, I'll add some more of the ivory so it appears that she has her eyes closed. Okay, yeah, here comes the ivory part. Just a little stick there. And again, when it's out of the camera angle, I'm trying to see it from my point of view, like face to face. So I apologize for that. The next time will be better. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. I think I'm adding the, oh, okay. This is where we're doing the eyelash, or the eyebrows. And what I do is I add I add a little tiny bit of black. It's just like a dot of black to where I want the eyebrow to start. And I add a dot of black to the other sides. There's two little dots next to each other. And then I'll heat the dot, and with my stringer, a cool stringer, I'll pull that dot into the shape of the eyebrow. I save the lips until the very, very end, just because I noticed that they would end up just being melted into the whole face, and I didn't like the effect that had. Okay, now here we are working on a bundle. Oh, we're ready for the hair. This is the hair bundle, and the hair bundle is consisting of 5 different shades of violet on top of a white. And this time I'm using a hairband so I can easily slide the hairband further away from the heat as I need to. Much better than a rubber band, because if it gets too close, that thing will just melt and then you'll be in trouble. I start by adding like a crown layer of hair. It's almost like the base layer. And as I do that, I'm twisting my bundle so the hair is actually, you know, it's going to appear to be much more multicolored. You know, it's going to be more interesting this way. And she's going to have a huge amount of hair. This lady is going to have a big updo, as they used to call them, or still do, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to start adding a whole bunch to the top. And what I'm doing is I'm just really twisting and twisting and twisting that bit until I have like the one side, a large bun on the top of her hair. And then I like to use my butter knife again to go in and form the hair. Sorry about all my uhs. I want to get the scalp line in there too. That's important. I really love doing the hair on these pieces. Everyone is different, and it's always exciting to see what's going to happen next. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here, but I'm heating up the back. Oh, adding a couple more lines because her hair is going to be moving in the upward angle. Okay, so I always have to make sure that everything is warm on the piece, or it will definitely crack, explode, or break. So periodically I will go in and heat the whole piece while I'm getting ready to do the next step. And the next step here is adding those big, beautiful purple twisted hair buns. This is my first time to ever edit a video. Oh look, the head just dropped. So look at that. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to stick that head back on the mandrel. Not a problem. Everything's cool. At least I know that the head isn't below the line of the mandrel. But seriously, you gotta just not panic. So the hair looks like it's finished, and I'm gonna add some ribbon. What am I doing here? Oh, I'm adding a little extra glass to the mandrel just to keep the neck warm while I work on the rest of it. That'll give me some more time. Okay, still shaping up the head. Things are looking good. Still shaping up the hair. I think this piece almost took me an hour when it was all said and done. Okay, so here I am adding some ribbons in her hair. And then I'll go in and use a knife to push them around. I have a little bit of time to push them around where I need to have them. And then I decided that I would, excuse me, put some bows on her head. I really love bows. Personally, I wear them all the time. Okay, so lots of bows. I use my butter knife. So basically what I do is I add 2 dots right next to each other and flatten them down with my butter knife, and then make just a crisscross with my knife to show the pucker of the bow. And then I add a little color in the middle to bring it all together. And I decided I needed more bows. So I think we do 3 bows on this little lady. Looks like I'm just taking my time and still shaping here and there. Okay, here's another bow. I was thinking about adding some music in the background, but at this point, I've been learning all of this editing on this one video, so I don't want to mess anything up. So, no background music. Okay, yep, I'm working on the last bow, and fairly soon I will be ready to add the nose, because she does not have a nose yet. The nose and the lips, that's like one of the last things I do. Just from experience, they tend to just get shorter and shorter, and the nose ends up being like this horrible ball, and the lips are all melted into the face. At some point I'll show you my beginnings of this series that I've been working on and how I got started. Okay, it looks like, I hope, here I'm adding the nose with a tiny stringer, and there it is. Cool. That means we're gonna just heat it up a little bit and put the lips on. It's a little line that I add, and then I just cut it in with a butter knife and pray for the best, hope that it just turns out okay. And, when you're turning it and everything, it's like, oh, it's looking great. So right now, it's looking great. What I need to do is transfer this now. So I transfer it to another stainless steel rod, and then I take that holding that base part off, and I just dunk that in a cup of water. Now I just grab the neck out of the annealer. Things are going really quickly all of a sudden. And I attach it to the head. And I always try to make sure I attach it, you know, the right way. I have actually put the head on backwards before, and that's just like a disaster. And then I just want to spend as much time as I can just keeping everything warm while the neck area cools down. And then I'll go in and add the dramatic head pose, or however I'm going to do it, you know. Looking down, looking up, looking over. It's always fun to kind of figure out, okay, you know, how's she going to look? And here's the finished piece. I think I'm going to present it here real quick, and then into the oven it goes overnight. And then we'll see how they turn out, or how she turns out, and the other piece in the next clip. So we will show you, or I will show you, how the rest of these pieces are made. Here is our finished lady in purple. I never name anything until they're done. I like to sit with them and hang out with them for a while. This lady just turned out so beautiful. I love her so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first video on our channel.